You Are What You Eat by Jonah Oberschlake. There once was a boy named Frankie Smith. Frankie loved to eat anything he saw. Despite his mom's constant warnings, "Frankie, if you keep eating, you'll become what you eat." Frankie laughed and simply replied, "Mom, that won't happen." One day, it was very dark and stormy outside. Frankie was doing his usual thing, eating whatever he could get his hands on. His mom came in yelling at him, "Frankie, if you don't stop eating so much, then you'll turn into what you eat." At that moment, a sudden burst of lightning hit the house, and all went silent. Frankie woke up the next morning feeling a little different. He decided to get out of bed and look in the mirror. His mom was sitting down at the kitchen table when she heard a giant scream from Frankie's room. She freaked and rushed up to his room where she saw her son and had become... Frankie woke up the next morning as the hot dog he was eating the night before. His mom chuckled and said, "I told you so." Frankie was not amused. Frankie had no idea what he should do. Neither did his mom. His mom suggested he just go about his usual business and stay away from the weird-looking foods. Frankie decided to go to school as a hot dog and just go about a normal day. When Frankie got to school, all the kids laughed at him and started to make fun of him. He decided to ignore his mom and try to eat something else. He thought this may turn him back into his normal self. Frankie decided to eat some pizza. That was Frankie's favorite lunch at his school. However, it seemed as if that decision would be a lot more saucier than he had expected. The next thing he knew, he was a pizza. Frankie then realized he was stuck. What would he do? The kids continued making fun of him. Even the teacher started to laugh at the pepperoni-covered boy. Eventually, the teacher told Frankie to stop goofing off and remove the costume. Frankie tried explaining to the teacher that he wasn't wearing a costume. However, she didn't believe him. Frankie replied back, "Here, I'll show you." Frankie stood up, walked to the teacher's desk, and ate her apple. Right in front of her, he turned into an apple. The other students sat in astonishment. They wanted to see what other things he could turn into. The students then realized that this could be fun for them. They started handing Frankie all kinds of food for him to try. First, they thought it would be funny to see if he would eat someone's sandwich that they had gotten out of the trash. The next thing Frankie got handed to him was his friend Alex's Kool-Aid pouch. Frankie was excited to drink it since he had not turned into liquid yet. He did not know if it would work or not. Lastly, the other students handed him one of their snacks. Frankie chose to eat the Twinkie. That was one of his favorite treats back home. He reached out, grabbed it out of the hands of the other student, and ate the whole thing in one bite. Frankie was getting tired, so he stopped eating the food. At the end of the day, he was worried he would never be able to be a boy again. He swore that if he had ever got the chance, he would listen to his mom and not eat so much food. That night, his mom walked back into the room to see Frankie crying. She asked, "What's wrong, Frankie?" She promised him that she would handle it and to just get ready for bed. "I don't know how to become my old self again." She promised him that she would handle it and to just get ready for bed. Frankie did just that. When Frankie got into bed, his mom walked in with a plate of chicken. She told him, "Now I want you to eat all of this." He questioned how that would help. She responded, "Just do what I say. I'll see you in the morning." The next morning, Frankie woke up and rushed to the mirror. To his surprise, he was his old self again. He was so excited and rushed downstairs to show his mom. His mom smiled at him and handed him his breakfast. Frankie hugged her, however, before he left for the bus, asked her one last question. "Mom, why did your chicken turn me into my old self? Shouldn't I be a chicken right now?" His mom just responded, "Remember to always trust your mother. Some answers can never be explained." He then left to go to school. The end.